Hello and welcome everyone to the next interview that we have. And today we have, well, introduce yourself.
I'm Manuel Saint-Victor. I'm the president of Marveloper, which is a social media focused marketing company. We do a lot of inbound marketing and help grow visibilities of indie games and other entertainment products.
And who's the little one beside
With MJ.
you?
My son MJ Manuel James.
Okay. Well, today we're going to have a few questions for you. Well, let's just start off. So, what is Marveloper, and what can it do for the aspiring game developer?
Okay. Marveloper is a company that came out of the concept of developers being aware of marketing at all phases of building their games. So it's a hybrid of a marketer and a developer. The main purpose of Marveloper is to teach developers enough marketing so that they're able to amplify the work that they're doing and grow the buzz around their products as early enough to grow a community around them.
Okay. So I guess that also answers how did it come to be about?
I was watching a Seth Godin video.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I actually posted it on Infinite Unity 3D, but it was a video about the importance of building the marketing into your software. So making the software so appealing to use that people feel compelled to go tell people about it.
Okay. So how does well, you were talking about on your website about social media. Can you explain a little bit more about that? What exactly does how do you integrate your social media in with that?
Well, I live with the belief that you're always marketing at all times. People don't think about the fact that they're actively building their brand 24 hours a day on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. You're going to be putting the noise out anyway, so it's important to understand that it is media, it is being consumed, and you do have a certain window of attention during which people actually are focused on what you're talking about. And in order to grow that attention, you have to grow an affinity such that people will give you the attention when you need it versus just popping up out of the blue and trying to hawk your goods.
So more along the lines of like building up sort of like a trust or some sort of relationship?
Absolutely. Actually, I want to say Chris Brogan, I think, had the book Trust Agents. It was one of the first books that I read that kind of made it make sense to me in a more algorithmic, behavior-based way.
Okay. So do you have any, on your website you mentioned that you actually help people develop games and you have your own little, I guess, maybe not studio, but people that you work with to help game developers build their games, at least from the concept to actual finished product. Have you completed any games yet?
We have one of the games that we've done some advising with is Smuggle Truck by
Okay.
Alchemy Labs. So that's going to be pretty major. I'm kind of excited about that.
Is it out yet?
What's that?
Is it out yet? I believe it's on the iPhone now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been released.
Okay, that's not bad.
And like this last week has been a fog for me. It's kind of racing through everything. We're also preparing, as I mentioned to you, for the Brass Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be involved helping market a lot of the games that are on the Brass Monkey platform since I'm part of the team. And right now we have a game that we're pushing out that's going to be actually marketed through the book Professional Unity in C#, which Denise, who's my lead engineer, and I are co-authoring that.
Okay. So there are a lot
that's
of
going to be the first major that we're doing all in-house.
Is there a lot of games coming out then with the Brass Monkey SDK, or?
There will be if I have anything to say about it.
Okay. Okay.
I anticipate there to be a flood of Brass Monkey games, and I'm planning to use the same system of amplification that we used to multiply the Unity fan base. So inbound marketing combination with an evangelical community.
Okay. So, well, where do you see the game going in the next 10 years as far as, like mobile, console? Do you see it changing from, like, the last 10 years? You've seen quite a bit of change in gaming with the onset of stuff like Facebook and mobile devices taking off. Do you see any other trends happening in the next 10 years?
I had one interesting project that I saw. I want to say Sean is working on it, but it's real life. I think they've integrated social media events with the gamification, with gaming. I think that as more awareness grows that gaming is the most effective way to teach people things, that we'll see gaming making its way into real life, classrooms, your behavior that you want in your automobile, just everything. I don't like the word gamification because it sounds like putting badges on everything. Increased engagement and participation through intermittent reinforcement and rewards and incentivization.
Okay. I just want to give a little shout out to the chat room here. If you have any questions, go ahead and just put them up, and we'll get to them after we're done the questions I have written down, just so we have them all ready, so we don't have to wait. Okay, so the next question I had was, how important do you think social media is to the new age game developer, someone just coming into the market?
It's vital. I mean, your game lives or dies based on if people have purchased it. They purchase it if they've heard of it. You can't like something you've never heard of. So, you got to, from the very beginning, start putting your brand out there so that people that are going to like you start developing an affinity for you and your product and what you stand for and the associated causes. And then each of the games that you bring out will amplify and continue to put out the message of what you actually stand for. So you put out a bunch of brand consistent games, and with each game, it's the reason that Cityville got so big so fast. You know, because they've been collecting this fan base all along and growing affinity, getting an understanding, listening to the community, what they need out of your game, what they want out of your game, and what they want out of your company.
Yeah, I know everything Zynga puts out, every new thing they put out, they just have that huge fan base that moves over to it. Because they weren't the first to come out with a Farmville type game, but they had the biggest fan base to come with them to it. So.
Yeah, they specialize in addiction. So.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing I want to know is, are there any sort of basic business steps that people should look at once they have an idea for a game?
See, that's one that Donald would be a better one to answer.
Okay.
Harris has joined my team, and he was with Instant Action.
Okay.
So he's got like 9 years plus of sales, so I don't even think about those steps as much. But, I think one thing that I'll kind of answer the opposite question.
Okay.
One of the things that people are always super concerned about is keeping their game private because they have this endlessly unique idea that's going to make so much money. That's the opposite of what you want to do because death by silence.
Yeah.
As far as when you say like business, are you saying like strategy wise?
Well, maybe marketing would be like that you want to do right from the get go. Like as soon as you have an idea, even before you actually start sitting down and making your design docs or prototypes. Is there anything that you really should be thinking about marketing wise?
Okay, now that half is mine.
Okay.
You got to start marketing from the very beginning. From the time you have an idea, actually, you're going to be interacting with people. You might as well be initially having conversations with people and planning for collaboration. Keep an ear out. Maybe you have a friend who has a song that he's dying to get heard, and now you have free background music. You have a friend with a character that he's built and no one wants it in a game because they don't know him. He's not important or relevant yet to the outside world. You essentially need to start out running with a team of people running at your pace who have different talents, collaborate and grow your product and grow your skill set together. By the time you've come out with a second version of the game, or you come out with a Christmas version or a Halloween version, you got a working machine. The game is a business. It's a business whether you want it to be or not. So you can go in with the mindset of, I'm building this game and I'm going to get rich. Really, competing with the company that goes through an actual product life cycle, has a team analyzing everything, and so on and so on, you don't have a chance. And plus, social media is the one chance that you have to compete with the big company. So you got to do it right from the very beginning.
Okay. I kind of actually think nowadays going in, we probably don't even want to think about, I'm going to make so much money off this game. Probably more along the lines of just trying to just get something done probably would be a better idea. Yep.
And also, the game is a small piece of the picture. Once you have a game, you grow a community around your game as your central social object. You've developed a like-minded community with a set of shared interests, and you pretty much should be able to grow a specific target demographic that way. the assumption with the target demographic is that they're going to have an affinity for associated products. If you like Rock Band, you can sell Rock Band lunchboxes, folders. My son has everything under the sun that has Ben 10. I'm surprised he doesn't have the Ben 10 watch on. You know,
my son's developed the affinity for Superhero Squad. So he's
Superhero
got
Squad?
he's got all these little squaddies now, and everything's like Boop Man, so Iron Man.
Yep, and that's how it works. And once you have that hook, you have that affinity. You want to go transmedia. You want people to see your characters on T-shirts. Mm-hmm. You want people to hear the music at the nightclub. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to be able to make this game become more than just a thing you're playing. It becomes an amplification, a representation of your brand. And every other game you come out with should continue to be brand consistent and amplify your brand and support each other and cause back sales.
Okay. So one more question that I had was, are there any other things you can think of just off the top of your head that someone getting into game development should be aware of, besides what we've talked about so far?
It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business, and if you want to do it well, it will be your entire business.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that, or like?
Yeah, you don't become an effective indie game developer by sitting down and working on a game, developing a game. My chief marketing officer, Antonis, mm-hmm. his big thing is research. You got to research your target demographic. Mm. You got to see if people even care about games involving blowing spit bubbles or whatever. Yeah, you gotta see who you're making the game for. Get to know that person, that ideal customer. Build a relationship with them, and the game is the center of the relationship. But the community and so on is thrown around that. Okay. The game is a small part of it.
Okay, well, let's open up the questions to the chat room. I actually got logged off, so I'm not sure if there were any questions. I just logged back in. I see one from Philo Hick. Oh, never mind. That's not actually a question. So does anyone have any questions? Or can you see any? Because I did get logged out, so I missed what was typed before the last few questions that I asked. We can edit out the silence.
Yeah. I think someone asked about online translation.
Okay.
Do you have consultations, and what kind of fees would a developer be looking at to hire you?
Okay.
The prices run the gamut. I know that's the worst answer to ever give, but it's pretty much the standard answer. What happens is you sit down, you talk to Donald, you look through the different services that are available, because we do everything from helping you with your content strategy, helping you do research, helping you get heard. We have a community of a few thousand influencers, like people who explicitly, sneezers is another word for it, people who are hyper-connected, figure out things like years before you even know they exist. It's a personality type. So we have a global community of that, and we're able to make the kind of impact where you get heard instantly. But the prices vary based on which package you choose and which kind of customizations you want.
Okay. So really depends on how much help you really need then.
Yep.
Okay.
And initially you can start small and start so that you can see the results. And obviously as your game grows and starts to hit different stages of game life cycle, mm-hmm. you're going to need different things. And a lot of the mistakes that people make along the way of promoting, it's because they've never made it to that part of success. So ideally, you would either have someone who knew what they were doing to guide you through it, or you would fail and better luck next time, which sucks.
Yeah, especially after you've spent years.
Yeah, and usually as an indie, you're living in the garage, waiting for this to take off. That's your studio. So you don't have that re-up. We made it, we sold 50,000 copies, crash, burn, start from zero. Yeah.
So I assume someone who made their game, so let's say themselves, they've gone, maybe they're almost on a finished product, then they can still come to you. They don't have to be there right from the start then?
They can come whenever they need help. The benefit that we have is we spent the last 2 years building a community of, we're a very tight-knit community. I think, have I known Elliot 1 or 2 years? It feels like I've known Elliot, Mr. T3D.
Yeah.
It feels like I've known him forever. Alex Schwartz, Chris Allen, president over at Brass Monkey as well. Mm-hmm. we started out together, and when we started out, I want to say there were 6,500 Unity developers.
So you started out together with Unity then?
No, Unity had existed before us. I just became a Unity addict, and that became the social object, and we grew Infinite Unity 3D.
Okay.
And the goal of that was to be a branded community to amplify and cause a growth in the Unity community, in the Unity developer population. At this point, we're rebranding it to Marveloper Media, because as the community has grown, we have people with a lot of talents outside of Unity who want to participate and be involved. So as Marveloper Media, we're able to showcase the different talents in the community and spread the word on that.
Okay.
I went tangential on that, but my brain does that sometimes.
That's fine. I'm just looking at the chat here. Next question I see is from She. Is there any company/services out there that will handle merchandising of games specifically? And can the indie afford such a service?
There are services out there.
Do you provide those services? Or
what's that?
Can you provide those services?
We can provide any services you need. We got a huge team.
Okay.
Yeah, we're connected all the way through the machine, so we are able to get you recommendations on some of the better opportunities, reputable people that can get it delivered well, top-notch work.
Okay, so I get like little Fro game figurines then.
Definitely. And I was actually Christopher's first beta tester.
Oh, were you for his Warriors and Commoners packs?
Yeah,
I really like that. I remember the first time I seen the run animation, I just rolled over laughing. Just that.
I like the bow and arrow.
Oh, you like the bow and arrow one? Just ting, ting.
Simple pleasures. I enjoyed the life out of his.
Yeah. Well, I think the first time I seen the run animation was when I was actually doing the tutorial, and I had to stop it because I was laughing. But his legs were just kind of like going out to the side and butt wiggle just a little too much. But anyway, I like the artwork there.
Yeah, I love his work. I love it.
Yeah. I just wish he'd do more, but I guess they're just busy. See, what other questions do we have here?
So how did you learn to program? Mine is kind of a contorted story. I started programming when I was started programming with BASIC. And then I ended up with a Commodore 64 by the time I was in 7th grade. So I think I was 10 when I started programming, 9 or 10. And then I kept taking Mr. Schlechter. I think it's Schlechter. I remember Schlechter for some reason. I kept taking his computer class. So he was like, why don't you go ahead and teach at St. Victor if you're going to be in here all the time.
Is that at school then, I assume?
Yeah,
okay.
It was in, I guess, elementary school.
Yeah.
Yep. And I went to Harvard, studied biochem. I was pre-med because that's what I was told was a good idea at the time. And then I went to Chapel Hill, went to med school. Realized that maybe pure medicine wasn't for me. I took some time off, launched a startup, crashed and burned. went back to med school, finished med school, launched another startup, crashed and burned. And I did 2 years of my psychiatry residency, enough to be licensed. And then I got a project to work on motorsports, a virtual world, sports-themed virtual world. So I jumped out again, and this time it's going substantially better, which is good.
But do you attribute your, I guess, recent success to maybe learning as much as you did from those failures, or was it just more studying along the way?
Absolutely. Yes, because I recognize things that are mistakes I've made in the past, and I know not to do them. With marketing in particular, there's so much you have to do all at the same time, and walking. You can't be thinking about lifting your foot and flexing your leg when you're driving, because that's just not the ideal time to be focused on that.
Yeah.
Marketing, you have to be doing so many things in so many lanes, watching so many metrics that it's hard to pick up. I wanted to go back because I kind of gave the long answer, but incomplete answer to how I learned to program.
Okay, yeah.
I learned to program on call during medical school and residency at night. I kept a laptop with me and in my backpack, and people thought I was some weird, I don't know. But people sleep a lot. I worked in a psych unit at night. People were pretty much sleeping well in a psych unit.
Yeah.
So I just kept the computer with me all the time.
I remember when I first started, it was, I think, grade 5. I had my little TRS-80. I'd saved my paper up money for it. I had my Coco, and I got home, and BASIC as well. And, science fair, I ended up bringing it in for a science fair because I had made this animation program, and I wanted to show it off. And I came from, like, this little hole in the woods. So coming in with a computer, everyone was just kind of like, whoa,
Magic.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, but good times. We've come a long way.
I remember typing stuff out from Run Magazine.
I never had Run Magazine.
You never had Run Magazine?
Nah, I'm from Canada. They might not have had it up there.
Yeah,
and then again, I was from such a small town.
but we had the tape recorder. We used to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took like an hour, and then it would have an error.
Yeah, the teacher that I had for the science fair didn't know how to work it, so I had to actually have him come back and evaluate my project because I had to show him how to work. You got to rewind the tape after you've used it. So
yeah, that's what you got used to user testing early.
Yeah. Oh boy, the disk drive changed everything. Let me see, what else do we have here? Are there any other questions? I'm not seeing any others, but I keep hitting random keys just to not get logged out. Okay. No one?
Okay, here we go. My first idea is to make AAA content and sell it on my site and the asset store so people can buy my stuff and make whole games at a fraction of the price, but no funding as of yet. What kind of advice would you give me to get started? Well, I'll do a self-plug. Drop by and become active in the Marveloper community, because by getting to know the people in the community, you're able to get mentioned at events, and a lot of the guys do a lot of public speaking. And by and large, we're a community that shares a lot. So we communicate ideas to people who might benefit and be a good collaborator with you. And who knows, a lot of the people in the community are also in the press and in the media. So
do you have forums over at Marveloper? I didn't see them.
Well, what we decided to do something different, and we have a private invitation-only community.
Oh, okay.
And it's a private Facebook community, because after the whole Infinite Unity 3D thing, it was a lot of visibility, and it kind of weirded my wife out at times, because people would be like commenting on pictures of my kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know you that you don't know, and having worked on an inpatient psych unit, that's not really the most comfortable feeling.
Yeah. My wife has the same thing about my son being in the live stream so much.
Yeah.
Especially when she looks and sees like 12 people on. Who are those people?
I have no idea.
This guy's from Spain. This guy,
Yeah.
never seen him before. But
nowadays, the privacy is gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because as soon as you open up a website, almost anyone can find out, exactly where you live, type thing. And and if you open up a business, then it's like, oh, look, here's your phone number. Did you know that you're listed? Oh, okay. Yeah. But anyway, it comes to the territory, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess people. One of the things is, especially in the business that we're in, I tell my son a lot. It's important to understand that a lot of people, you can help a lot of people, but there's a difference between your personal and your private life, your personal and your public life, and your public persona is different. It has a certain set of privacy boundaries. I wanted to go back and answer that other question about the asset store thing, more thoroughly, because I kind of tend to process things in the background.
Yeah, okay.
You want to launch your blog. You want to grow the authority and trust of your brand such that people recognize your site when they come by it, or recognize your presence elsewhere. It also allows people to let other people know what's going on in your store and what's going on with your company. As I said, get involved in our community. We have different ways that you can help out and contribute so that you get seen. If you write a blog post on our site, on the Mavelpoper Media site, I want to say about 60-something thousand viewers, 60,000 page views. And that's after we haven't really marketed the site for like about 6 months, because we've been kind of planning and strategy for the next version, which is Mavelpoper Media.
Okay.
But Our traffic will probably grow about tenfold in next year. I'm anticipating because we're going to systematically do all the strategies that we've used in the past and continue to grow the community. What else? You want to give people a reason to talk about your stuff. It's got to be fun enough that people give a damn about it.
Okay. Do you see the asset stores being a good way to, if you're, say, an artist or maybe 3D artist or music, whatnot, do you see it as a good way to make some extra bucks?
It's one.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah, the good way to make the money is to work your ass off.
Well,
yeah, you hit the asset store, you hit the YouTube, you hit the Vimeo, you combine them on the VodPod, you create a custom channel. When you aggregate stuff that's relevant to your target demographic, if you're planning to make a space shooter game, start collecting space shooter games and writing about them. Start writing tutorials on how to ace them. Start writing cheat sheets. Start getting sound effects for other people. While you're building your game, meet the other people who are making similar games to you, because chances are they have the same target demographic. They've already captured it. Why would you reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
Get to know the bloggers that are relevant to your demographic. Don't try to just be generally influential at everything, because that ends up making you spread out.
Yeah.
So, like when I was doing the Unity publicity, I was pumping out Unity. I named the campaign Infinite Unity 3D, which made people have to say the name of the company every time they said it. And everywhere I was able to carry the presence of that company, and members talking about the topic amplified the name of the brand such that it became bigger per Google and per YouTube. And you full court press it. You focus, you get out there, and it's a whole bunch of stuff to do. But even if you do one of them, you're better off.
Yeah. And I noticed on your website you listed Unity 3D and Torque as the game engine. Do you do other ones as well?
Yeah, we have a Torque dev team that we're growing.
Do you have any others besides those two engines, or do you do UDK and stuff like that as well?
I'm looking to add a UDK person to the team.
Oh, okay.
As the demand arrives for the work, we'll grow the team as needed.
Okay.
It's in-house right now. I want to say actively developing. We have seven developers behind the scenes.
That's pretty good.
And, like 2 artists, AAA level artists. And my artists are incredible. You wouldn't believe the stuff they make. I can brag on them because it's not me, it's them.
Do you have any of their work? Is any of their work up yet, or?
I can. So much NDA stuff. I can send some to you after I talk to Donald.
Okay.
I'll get permission and then I'll let you.
Well, I was just wondering if you had any up somewhere on the website that I just didn't see or anything like that.
I haven't looked around.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone else looking around either. Okay. I was just wondering if you had some samples, but that's fine.
Yeah, we're going to be stepping all that up in a bit. The main focus for the next few weeks is to get the entire brand migrated onto the Marveloper umbrella, get everything cleaned up, and then we're going to start amplifying.
Okay. Let me see, were there any other questions? See people talking about their VIC-20s. So I usually have the chat at the bottom of the screen, but I didn't have time to get that set up today because I was having trouble with Justin TV, so we didn't put that up.
This is working fine.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Could you just... RJ had one? Oh,
Here's one. You spent some time building up Infinite Unity. What ultimately made you decide to sell it? And was it to work more on Marveloper? I'm glad you asked that. I put a couple of years into Infinite Unity. At the time that I decided to sell it, it's because it wasn't making any money and it was costing me a crap load to manage the server and all that stuff. And basically, we were going broke doing it. Yeah, we were knee deep in the first round of a mistake in strategy that was amplifying. Okay, so we were getting gigantic, but our model wouldn't sustain the revenue that it needed to stay that gigantic, which is a mistake you can make with your games for yourself too, by the way.
Yeah.
if your game goes viral and you don't have a monetization right, that server will melt and it will hurt.
Yeah, I've seen that question a few times in the live chat about having some big game, going out renting this huge server, or even if you put it on the cloud, it's just really popular. And it's like, yeah, but how are you going to pay for this? You know, if you can't afford to hire people.
Yeah. And let's see. I kind of want to, let me...
Infinite Unity grew too big.
Process things. Yeah. I stay in multiple lanes with my thinking, I guess.
Yeah.
Infinite Unity 3D, the community grew such that we have musicians, we have a lot of marketing people, we have a lot of the guys from like the media, the press and stuff. So it became something bigger. And a lot of people felt like they couldn't participate because they're not Unity developers, yet they have the similar spirit to what we have, which is collaborative work and amplification. So by moving the name to Marveloper Media, the same way Infinite Unity was able to amplify Unity as a company and get a lot of people talking about it by saying the name, we're using the same strategy so that Marveloper Media can represent the Marveloper community and get that message out. Same technique.
Okay,
so it's the same community, just we've all grown up a bit.
I notice you keep using the word amplification. Can you?
My favorite word.
Is it? What exactly are you meaning by it right now? Just getting bigger or hyping things up? Or
you say what?
What exactly are you meaning by it? Are you like blowing things up, or well, not explosions, but like making things bigger? Is that what you're referring to, or?
Well, the internet is a sentient medium. Okay, like when someone's pissed off on Facebook, you could feel it. If you see that amplification, as far as what I see it to be, is the ability to impact people's moods with your mood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're able to make enough people feel motivated and feel like they can take on anything, there's a way to push that feeling through a community. And there's also the ability to push energy, motivation, direction, as well as to push messages. A lot of the tribal marketing, like Seth Godin style, they say that the most important relationship is not the one between the tribe leader and the tribe members, but the principle of tightening up the tribe, the connections between the tribe members. Okay. So a lot of people are trying to get more Twitter followers, more Facebook followers, and so on, when in reality, what you need to be doing is, once you've captured your target demographic, you need to be making sure that you're delivering to them an amazing product or service such that they can't help but to show off their darn iPhone, to use an example. Mm-hmm. I love joking about the iPhone because it wouldn't really matter whether he'd sold a waffle. It would be the best looking waffle you've ever seen, and you'd have it at your house sitting up there. You bring your friends over and give them waffle envy. That's my brain jumping off track again. But yeah, it's basically that's the principal amplification, is the ability to get a message, a feeling, or something out to your environment. And as you grow a community that's like-minded and communicates well between the members, you have members actively helping you find a job. When someone loses a job, we're able to get you a job super fast because everyone is looking for a job for you. When you have a game about to release, we've got like a few 100,000 people talking about your game. Mm-hmm. And these are 100,000 influencers. These are, people in the press, people who own radio stations, people who do a lot of tutorials, drop by, say hi to Tornado Twins, whatever. Just, that's amplification.
Okay.
And the internet makes it like seamless. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Mass media. See what else we have here. I'm seeing with the Android and iPhone games. That's not really a question. Are there any other questions in the chat room? I'm not seeing any. Scroll through a bit.
I'm laughing at this one. I love basic. Hello world, 20. Go to 10.
Yeah.
Life is simple then before object-oriented programming.
Well, not really, because once you started getting into all those stupid go-tos and go-subs, it just really got hard to control stuff. But
that's a very good question.
What was the question? Sorry, I'm not seeing which one you're looking at.
Yeah. Where do you draw the line between what you want your game to be and what your demographic might want? There is no line there, because why would you make a game no one's going to buy?
Yeah.
if when you grow in a community, it's your community. You can't really lead the community no more than you can lead the family. So you have to listen to and serve the community that you lead. You don't lead by dragging someone where they don't want to go. You lead by listening closely enough to understand what the person wants to have happen, and you help them make it happen, and that's how you lead. You don't force someone to do anything because you can't push string.
The question actually popped up about 30 seconds late for me. So yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. So I don't really. The game is really, you think it's your game, but where do you draw the line between how safe Toyota gets to make their car and how safe I get to say they make their car? If you're designing a game for a community, you have to make sure that it fits what that community wants as much as you can, sort of the general feeling of the community.
Okay. Well, if there's any other questions, we'll answer those. If not...
Hey, Shay. I see Shay on the chat room.
Oh, you know Shay?
Yeah. I mean, I try to... if you're interacting with people and they're part of your family, so to speak, you got to know them.
Okay.
You got to be paying enough attention. If someone is spending money on your games, on your products, and giving you their attention, which is the most valuable commodity under the sun, it's your obligation to reciprocate by understanding enough of what's going on in your community's lives that you're actually able to help them and cater to them. It's you're selling games, you're selling entertainment, you're putting this thing in people's houses and with their families, so you have to understand them.
Okay. Well, there doesn't seem to be any more questions. Was there anything else you wanted to do to kind of tie anything together in this interview before we get going, or?
Were you talking to me? I got cut up.
Yeah. Yeah, and you started chatting. I see that.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if there's anything you wanted to say before we ended this to kind of tie any loose ends up.
Well, we're in a rapidly changing business. As such, we're in a technical rapidly changing business. As such, it's important that you have an understanding of something that you're doing anyway, which is the marketing. You're out there all day. If you're putting out noise because you're not effectively communicating, you're screwing yourself, and your game won't do as well as it could have. If you're not planning appropriately with your game and you're not telling anyone about it till the last minute because you want it to be a secret, it will remain a secret right through to the day that you start the death of making games with that technique. That's the most important thing. Collaborate. Don't try to be a one-man house because then you'll have an average game because you're not an animator, you're not a sound guy, you're not a marketer, you're not whatever else. But by the time you put a team of 10 guys together, you have 10 guys who know enough piecemeal to keep each other from shooting themselves blind.
Yeah. Well, I know about trying to do too much all at once.
It's in my nature.
Yeah, I've got to try it. It's just the way I do it. It's I may not be good at it, but we'll try it and see how it goes. And of course, a week later, it's kind of I'm just going to get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
But at least I tried.
Yeah, and that goes back to looking at the game as a part of your business. Because then you start making business decisions. Do I spend 10 hours figuring out how the semicolon plays into this method, or do I put this amount of money into getting it sourced so that I can get my vision out?
Now, we've been talking about game development. What about maybe like apps or something like that? Do you do those as well?
Yep. Okay. We have guys on team that build apps.
Okay.
And another thing is we're able to give you a lot of referrals because, once again, the community is diverse. We have actually 2 of the projects we're working on right now that are super neat are more movies than games. So, Antonis also in particular, Antonis is a musician, and Panagiotis, who's also a participant in the community, he's got a PhD in music. These cats know their music, so there's different skills going into there.
Okay, so Antonis, that's the one in the chat room, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering. We had a couple new people that I hadn't recognized before, so...
Yeah, that's my chief marketing officer.
Okay, what about Lantos? He was a new guy today.
Let's see. I don't recognize the handle. Who's Lantos?
I'm not. It could have just... there's been a rash of new people to the website, so it could just be someone I haven't met yet.
Let's see. I'll ask, because I'm nosy.
Okay. Well, he should be able to hear in the stream.
unless he's focused on the chat and like distracted like I am. I go back and forth.
Yeah, we just haven't met him yet.
Haven't met me yet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we might as well meet you now.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm easily entertained, man. You leave me alone with a slinky, and like a week later, I'm still in the same spot.
Sometimes I think setting up the live feed was a horrible idea because I'll sit down and get some work done, and I'll look over, and there'll be like 1 or 2 people in the chat room. An hour goes by, and we're sitting there talking about something that happened.
It's an excellent idea because you're getting work done. You're marketing.
Yeah.
You're growing, nurturing your community, which is the perfect thing to be doing. It's more valuable than whatever work you're doing building the game.
Well, sometimes I need this here to pay bills, though. So
this is suboptimal. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted if there's no more questions, I'll give one more chance. Okay, well, no more questions, so I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for sitting down with us. I noticed MJ's been yawning a little bit the last little while, so.
Yeah, he's been well behaved. High five?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been well behaved. He's good.
Okay. Well, yeah.
To hear my interviews go, right? He's like, yes, I'm sleeping. You gotta go to the bathroom, go? That you can do. I was like, I need you to sit still. Doesn't mean you need to drown. But yeah, thanks everyone for sitting and listening to me ramble about marketing.
We're glad to have you. Maybe we could have you again later on talking about Brass Monkey or something like that.
Absolutely. I would love to come back and talk about it.
Yeah, I've taken a look at the videos.
What's that?
I've taken a look at the videos on the site. Didn't really learn anything new from the videos. I guess I'll learn a little bit more with the SDK, but the idea looks good.
You said what?
The idea looks good. I kept envisioning kind of like party games where everyone would be sitting around.
Well, it's any games. Say you're driving past the store or whatever, and they have an item that you want to buy. You can, eventually as we start to build the apps out and get the kind of distribution that we're looking for, you'll be able to pass the store and order it right there. Or you might see something on a road sign or whatever. And the interactive signs, we're partners in the NG Connect program.
Okay.
Which is
what is that exactly? I've heard it thrown around.
It's basically connecting everything under the sun.
Okay.
On a 4G LTE network.
Okay.
And one of the products that we work with MediaTile to develop is the Game Time Media Table. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, the Game Time Media Table allows the Android person and the iPhone person to play head-to-head with using their phones as controllers. You can use the accelerometer, and as we move forward, any web-enabled device is connected to your phone. You're also, you're more connected with the environment. You're able to play party games in public places, find a reason to flirt with someone.
I just kept thinking of some sort of Trivial Pursuit game where you could have literally 1,000 people sitting around some big screen. And
we're in private beta, man. Hop in.
Yeah, well, I've got the forums. I'm still going to read them. I wasn't expecting an actual legal document to come through for it. So I'm used to the private betas where you click here and maybe type your name out here. So I've got to finish reading through them, but I'll get them in.
Paperwork will take me back a good month.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. You just want to quickly read everything, but make sure that you understand.
Yeah. Let me do the plug.
Oh, okay.
You got a plug.
That's fine. Is that the Suzuki Fire something or other?
No. This is which racing game is this? This is an older one. So,
Ring of Fire. That's the Suzuki Ring of Fire. Is what I'm.
I don't recognize the background though. I guess I'm so used to seeing the Japanese city background. But yeah. So this is Brass Monkey. Seriously fun control.
Okay. And that'll work on any mobile device, or I guess Android and Unity or iPhone.
Let's see. You can build stuff with Flash. It works on iOS. It works on Android. We have a C++ library, so it'll be on every device.
Yeah, once you start getting to that low level, it should be able to work on anything. Yeah,
and it works on iPad. Smuggler Truck uses it. If you Google Smuggler Truck and G4 TV, there's a live video of Alchemy's Labs Smuggler Truck game. Alex demonstrates that.
So the people that are in the private beta right now, are they allowed to actually use it and release games with it, or?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show off their games. You know how I do.
I was just wasn't sure if they're actually just testing it for you, or if they're actually if there's actually games being made with it now for sale.
Yep. Seriously Fun Control is the arcade that will be housing these games. The strategy behind that is the same aggregation strategy that one of my favorite cluster approaches, where we're going to put all the games in one location in this arcade at Seriously Fun Control, and you'll be able to go there, play other people's games, see other people's games, and we'll have opportunities to monetize your game, in-game ads and various other things, while you're playing it with the controller.
All right. Well, we're starting to get off on another whole other topic, but that's fine. Yeah. Let's call this one done. And I want to thank you for showing up and talking with the community. And good luck with the Marveloper Media.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me by.
Not a problem. Bye. Well, I'll be back for the Brass Monkey.
That'd be cool.
Okay, then.
Take care.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.